it?
Tequila and lemonade.
I did tequila and pineapple. Cheers. Cheers for a crazy Monday night. It was like, I gotta talk to Alice. I was like, I felt bad because heck, me and you can just go for fucking ever. Hex is like, do. Oh.
I
Anyway.
just said, what's wrong?
I can't find the remote.
Ask Scarlett for the remote.
Oh, Mom's having a day.
Yeah, and Adam's like going to sleep right now because he's got to get up and take one of the guys to the airport because he's got to go back to Mexico because his son has to have surgery on his esophagus.
Dang. In Mexico?
Yeah. Like they just come here for like 6 or 7 months and work, and then they go back. Well, some of them are in the process of getting citizenship. It's really hard to get citizenship, and it's really expensive, even though they have like jobs and shit.
Yeah, they actually work. Hey, Joe. Hey, Stoner. Thanks for joining us on a Monday night. I was like, why not? We can go for a little bit here. Why not? Because I felt like drink. I wasn't going to drink, and then I was like, I'll have a drink. No big deal.
I was really good the past couple of nights. Last night I just had one drink, and then I went to bed. I was a very good girl.
Good job. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like once I get going, it's like, to keep going, pulling. Oh, Adam follows you now.
I'm drinking beer. I just slam.
Yeah, I can slam some fucking beers. Yeah, those guys are fun, aren't they? That was fun to hop on with their stuff. Hey, PTS, these nuts.
And I listened to the whole thing. And I mean, yeah, I was cleaning and stuff. I was like, but yeah, I'm hearing part about the cleavage. But I heard the part about wrestling, and that excited me.
Oh, good. I wonder if it was because they do part of it on YouTube and then they go to YouTube and Odyssey. I wonder if it was on the other part. Maybe. I don't know.
I watched it all on Rumble.
Oh, okay.
I probably just missed it while I was like cleaning the dish or running after kids.
Yeah, we just have it like playing and stuff playing in the background, so you know.
But I know how nice my cleavage is, so.
So let's see that lady who called Hex a monkey. What the fuck?
Dude. Okay, then go get Daddy's remote. My gosh. Yeah, they're just coming right out with it now. Like they've been waiting.
Like, what was their even point? And where are they even coming from? And like, why do they have to say shit like that? I just don't even understand it.
Because deep down, they really are racist. Like, they look at black people and gay people and queer people as a way to push their agenda. You don't fall.
That's true. Yeah, they're basically, and if you don't fall in line with them and don't do what they say, then they get mad at you. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, though. God.
A monkey and the N-word. Like, I don't think I've ever seen. I've seen racist stuff being said on the internet before, but I've never seen so much racist stuff as I have this past week.
It's out of control. It's wild. I mean, I know, and I try to tell myself, oh, it's just online. Online isn't real life. But they have all these protests going, and all these people probably feel the same way. I would assume they feel somewhat the same way, like, Jesus Christ, man. It's weird. It's not weird, but
I got a post removed from one of my cat pages because they put up that they were raising money to donate for abortions.
In a cat group on like Facebook?
They were selling like cat and dog stuff, but they were donating all the money to women who wanted abortions. So I reported it. Like it's not going towards cats. Like that.
Right.
And they posted it. In the post it said the Supreme Court is taking away women's, body autonomy or whatever. And I can't help it. Like, I just get so aggravated with women, and I'm like, listen, like, I don't think the state has a right to tell you what to do with your body. Like, I do think abortion like should be banned past a certain point unless it's for medical reasons. But usually they deliver the baby at that point, and you take it to NICU and stuff like that. But I'm just like that. Like, if you read it, you would understand that it should have never been judged by the federal government in the first place. It just aggravates me that women just don't read that.
They they're overreacting like women do.
I mean, I've never overreacted.
It's so bizarre. Like, it's so, especially after 2 years of where they said to be, well, that was a problem though. It's like they said to be extra cautious and shit, but it was like not medically extra cautious. It was just staying away from people and putting a mask. They didn't push get healthy, eat right, that kind of stuff. And so it's like, why can't we? I don't even get it. Why can't we? All these people like did all this shit for 2 years and they can't even like try to not get pregnant. I don't know.
Like, you went through so much work not to get a cold.
It's like there's people protesting here in Denver. I saw pictures. I'm like, really? Like, why? Well, the rules here in Denver aren't bad. Hold on, my dog's trying to get in here. Hold on. I gotta let him in the room. I thought it was Tanner trying to come in. It wasn't the dog, it was a person. Sorry, your earphones are they battery?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I do have a cord.
I don't know, man. People are crazy. People are just like, I'm crazy too. I'm pretty fucking crazy, but like, why people are just so easily told what to do by the fucking government and media. It's just so crazy. Hey, Kenny.
Yeah, but you're like a fun crazy.
Yeah, like I put the fun in dysfunctional. That's what I say. But there's like also crazy, like, and trust me, I hate responsibility too, people. But you have to make the steps in your life to have less responsibility. You can't just fucking toss, you can't have it and then be like, ah. It's just weird. Everything is just, I don't get it. At least we have each other. We can talk to each other when we're a little tipsy.
This thing is broke.
We're having a night already, aren't we?
I'm just broken everywhere. Everything. And I gained a pound. Pissed.
You need a what?
I gained a pound.
Oh. Just take a big poop tomorrow. You'll be fine. That's all you need to.
I drank a lot of water. I did drink water though yesterday. I drank like a ton of lemon water yesterday.
So maybe it's just water. It's all good.
I don't know. I'm gonna try and work out a lot tomorrow. I got glass in my foot the other day.
You what?
I got glass in my foot the other day.
Oh yeah, I saw your post. Did you get it out finally?
I think so. I think it's just sore now. But it was so tiny that it was enough to hurt, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't get to it. I soaked my foot and I scrubbed it with my sugar scrub. Dog's trying to drink my drink.
Was it bleeding a lot?
It would when I would push on it, it would bleed a tiny bit, but it was so tiny.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt. On it.
And there was glass in there then.
Yeah, like I was in the bathroom or I was taking a shower and I don't know how it got in there, but a glass broke in the kitchen. We thought we had it all cleaned up, but those tiny little pieces, man, they're hard. So I was in the shower and that's where it ended up happening that I noticed. So I'm like screaming from the bathroom. I'm like, Adam, my foot.
Did you drag it? Did it get from the kitchen to the bathroom in your foot?
Yeah, like I'm wondering, like, was it on my flip flop? Did it get stuck on my dress when I was sweeping up? Like something happened. But yeah, I managed to get to the bathroom. Like I was in the shower and I felt it. And I got out of the shower and yeah, I screamed for Adam like I was dying.
I love it. Well, I don't love that you were hurt, but I love that you had him to scream for it.
He was telling people yesterday, he was like, yeah, she was in the bathroom flailing about.
We don't overreact at all. What are you talking about?
It hurts. And I get really mad when I hurt something that's gonna affect my everyday. Like if you hurt your finger, it's gonna stop trying to do basic things. Same with your foot, makes it harder to walk. But like when I banged my head really hard on a shelf a couple days ago, and I'm not upset about that, and it still kind of hurts right there. But it didn't keep me from doing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you have to worry about it, if there's like when you cut your fingers and you're like, fuck, I got to worry about this now and clean it and worry about it. Bullshit.
Use it like a certain, like, well, I say when I use vinegar cleaner, because I have like a lot of water and vinegar cleaner I just use around the house. And I would say that even burns a little bit if you get it on like a cut. But yeah, Clorox or like a real cleaner, the cleaners that everybody wanted when COVID was going around. Did you see that? Notice that? You go to the store and like all natural cleaners are still there, but all the Clorox and everything is gone. It's like, oh, now you like that stuff.
You're like, oh, you want the strong shit when you think it's real. Like, yeah, it was funny. Like, hold on, I need to sniff really bad. I'm sorry. Okay, I got loogies going on. All right. Yeah, that was funny during that time. And like you couldn't get bleach for a while, and like white vinegar was like people were I hoarded white vinegar too a little bit, but
Yeah, I got quite a bit of white vinegar, but I use it a lot. I use it for cats, use it to clean out stuff. And then I like to use it like if we're about to eat at the table, I spray water and vinegar on it because I don't want all the Clorox on there and
yeah, it's like good. It's a good cleaner. It's kind of natural and not chemical and grody. So
and I use some of my recipes call for it. My apple cake calls for vinegar, which I'm
it's
gonna
in
try.
the apple cake.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. So when I had people over, I doubled my apple cake recipe, and I wasn't going to, and then I did. And I told Adam, I was like, I don't know if I should double it because sometimes when you double a recipe and make it in a bigger pan, it doesn't taste good. Oh, as soon as I took it out of the oven, I'm like, yep, this is fucked. And
It was bad
it was so bad, and I was so mad too.
because you doubled it, so it just didn't turn out the same.
It was like harder. Yeah, it's supposed to be like kind of like a fluffier, moist, nice cakey type whatever. So
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna try making it again when Hex and some other people come over in a couple weeks. I mean, usually it turns out really good, so I just won't double that recipe anymore. It's really good when you make it with the homemade applesauce.
Ooh, like you put the applesauce in the batter, kind of.
That's how you like. I'll use store bought applesauce, and it still tastes good, but it's so much better when you make it with made applesauce, like moister that way.
Nice, it's fresher too. Anyways, I was like, "What are you doing? You want to stream?" You're like, "Yeah, why not?"
I should this way doing nothing because
you should what?
I was sitting in the breezeway doing nothing. All the bugs were attacking me.
It actually turned into a party night, a by myself party night.
A lot of my nights are by myself.
Right, too, pretty much. It's like, whatever. I don't know.
Well, he goes to bed early.
Adam
So,
does?
yeah. Well, even if he just falls asleep on the couch, I mean, but usually every night we go to bed together. Like
Right.
he'll sleep on the couch until I'm ready for those nights. But
That's
tonight
sweet.
it's like really fucking cute.
It's so cute.
Like such a quaint little couple.
We like never go to bed together anymore. So every now and then, but mostly I'm like, I'm just up. I'm always up. So that's what happens when you have less responsibilities.
Yeah, he'll just sleep on the couch until I'm ready. It's freaking hot in here.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
We got a nice warm day finally today too. It was cold this whole weekend, but we're back to summer. I'm happy. Our chat. We must be boring. Our chat's like slow tonight. Hey Stone, yeah, party night, mommy. That's me. But whatever.
It's because I have on my wholesome clothes today.
It's like up to your neck. Me too. Hey, Large Marge.
This is my wholesome dress.
It is. It's very trad.
Yeah.
You're super trad.
We went and hung stuff out on the clothesline with it on the one day. I felt like such a little like country bumpkin out there with my sundress on, hanging my sheets on the clothesline.
Living the life. I love it though.
No, and I just like need some more animals.
We're just gonna like start coming home with kittens and just be like, sorry.
He's like, no. And usually he's like fine with it, but he knows. He's like, if she took out another kitten right now, she'd be like going nuts. They are hard to keep up with, them freaking poopies. My
The
dog,
kittens?
yeah. Because we keep the kittens in our room when they're little. That's just
They're jumping on your shit and biting you and
like your eyeballs while you're sleeping.
I wish we didn't do that when so Sarah was like my first baby animal anyways, but she was feral as a kitten. So we like set up downstairs. So that's always been her lair is like the downstairs layer, you know. She's like, this is where I live, but I need another one. She needs a baby. She needs to know how to be a mommy.
Yeah, you're gonna do another kitten. She's gonna be like, "What is that thing?"
She probably will. She'll be like, ugh, like just get mad at it.
I did get bit up out there. Gee. Ugh.
Yeah, I got a mosquito bite last night, but luckily didn't do anything. Oh boy, Large Marge. Yeah, cats always go to people who don't like them. That's what happens. Can you read it?
Yeah.
That's what happens every time.
You don't choose cats; they choose you.
Hey, Welsh Republic. Jeez, he's in New Zealand. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you got glasses on today.
Yeah, it's a different one. I'm like, I can change it up a little bit.
I just need sunglasses. Adam always looks at me when I put on sunglasses, and I'm like, "What do you think of these ones?" And he just always like gives me this look. But I'm like, I don't know. Like I got these like blue and green sunglasses a while ago, and then I got the like aviator sunglasses or whatever. But I look cute, and we were going to church, so it was like I was going for like a look.
He gives you attitude over the aviator ones?
He just like looks at me like I look silly. Like
Rude.
I like always wear obnoxious sunglasses. And
they're fun.
Yeah, sometimes I think that's why those people in Texas didn't like me too much at that little store because I had on these like little fancy hot pink sunglasses.
They're like, who's this bougie bitch?
Man, his bright blonde freaking hair was so blonde then.
Was it a bottle? Did you go bottle blonde? Like real blonde?
I used to get my dye from a girl that like did hair, and she would go and get me like the dye and stuff. But a lot of times I just did it on the box. But my hair was lighter back then. Now my hair is like gray. You can't see it really. It's like gray.
Fucking hair. I'm getting old.
I'm like gonna gradually go lighter for sure.
They are moody, large March. Cats are definitely like moodier than dogs. That's for sure.
I'm pretty sure the one cat is still mad at me because this morning I fed the dog before her.
Oh. That was rude.
She doesn't talk to me all day. Like I went to pet her and she was like, me.
Moody.
She's a sassy little girl, man, for sure. Go to bed. No, you don't eat chocolate. Go to bed.
If you need to go mom, we can mom if you need to go mom.
Go to bed.
Dad, bring in the dad.
Goddamn kids.
Like so funny. Like he'll come to me, but then Adam will like sit up, and it's like he's like a cartoon the way he like breaks and turns back around.
You just know. They know.
Yeah, mine is softer. I just damn, it's hard. He'll like come in our room at night and he'll be like, "Mommy, can I have some water, please?" I was just like, "What am I supposed to say to that? You look so cute. You can have anything you want."
Can he not get his own water? I'd be like, go get your own water. Or is he not tall enough?
He's not strong enough, one, because like we don't have like we have like it's like a big jug of water. So like yeah, he's not like strong enough to lift that. But like some stuff he can get on his own. Like Scarlett was, oh my god, she was so much more self-efficient at that age, but part of like some stuff it's just he doesn't have the strength or the height to do it, you know. But if there was like juice boxes or something in there, like he would go and get it. But we don't really keep juice boxes and stuff a lot. They're more expensive and
There's sugar anyways.
yeah. We were getting this apple juice from BJ's that was organic, that was actually cheap and pretty good. I was surprised because a lot of organic, because I love apple juice. I don't drink it all the time, but I'll have like a little cup of apple juice. Oh my god, this stuff was so good. Because usually the organic apple juice, it tastes like water with like a squirt of apple flavor in it. This stuff was like so sweet, but I haven't been to BJ's in a while.
What's BJ's? A grocery store?
It's like it's like a wholesale grocery store by us. And no, Adam can never be a mature adult when we talk about BJ's.
What did he say?
He just said, he's like, because you're always talking about coupons for BJ's, and I just want to know where I can get them.
Free BJ's. He's a comedian. Lord.
Oh my god! Like we were at the dinner table today, and I'm like, so yeah, I was looking, and there's coupons for BJ's, and he's just staring at me, and he's like, "You're so lucky we're at the dinner table," and I'm like, "Dude,
can't help it."
What's up, BJ's coupons, man?
I reported this. Sorry, this is random. But I reported that monkey tweet. I don't report a lot of tweets, but I'm like, I reported it.
I can't believe, like, you know what? Even if they are bots, like, what the? But a lot of these aren't bots. These are like some regular people saying this kind of stuff and just saying really stupid stuff. Like, did you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
No, I saw the video go through. I haven't watched it yet. Is it Unhinged?
Yeah, she's like, they're gonna come after you and your wife next, like, and then what are you gonna do? And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're coming. That's what people make it. And they're like, oh, they're coming out. The gay people, are like, or not the regular gays are like, they're all cool right now. But like they're like, they're coming after us. Blah blah blah. And it's like, no.
From the regular gays.
Well, like it's true though. Like the regular gays are like sick of this shit too, because it's making them look bad that the crazy people have like hitched their wagon to it, and it's like, no, like it's just so stupid. It's like people have to, like, I guess in a world, in a society when you're not oppressed, you have to like be scared of being oppressed, which I'm always like, I'm scared they're going to take our guns too, but I don't know. It's just so silly. They're like, it's so, I'm like, no, you're fine, honey. You're fine. Like, you're fine. No one's coming for they're like, if you're not a white cis male, straight Christian cis male, they're coming for you. It's like, no.
A lot of people are pro-life too, though. So I don't know, and a lot of Black people are pro-life. So I don't know, like, where this idea is coming from that it's just all white males. Like, I mean, I would say most people I know are pro-life for the most part. Like, they may have like how we consider some exceptions or whatever, like a cutoff point. But yeah, most people I know are not like this kind of pro-choice at all. This shit is weird. Like it's like they get off on killing babies.
Well, it's almost like how like with Christianity, you're a sinner until you ask Jesus in your heart, and then you can like get born again or whatever. It's almost like these crazy women are like, it's a mortal sin to get pregnant, and just abortions like saves them from it or something. And it's like, it's just weird. Yeah, it's like weird. Like they're all freaked out about the wrong shit anyways right now, because like, nothing's really changed except in like 2 states, or like, like.
And those states stuff can change as people vote. You know what I mean? Like, I would never want abortion to be completely banned in my state. I think my state is just trying to enact the heartbeat law, where if you detect the heartbeat. And, I get like people will be like, well, most women don't know they're pregnant by then. Okay, if you're sexually active or if you're raped, you could get pregnant. And there's these things, and they're called pregnancy tests, and they did early pregnancy. And you know what? They even fucking work from the Dollar Tree. You don't even need one of them fancy ones. You can just get a Dollar Tree one.
Yeah, they're like shocked, and it's like, did you not know you had sex? Like, which I don't judge. Like, have sex. I'm down with everything, but like, if it is weird. They're like, well, I didn't know at 12 weeks, or, and it's like, well, did when you have sex and get cummed in, like, and then that it's like, and it can happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why is it?
They act like it's a huge surprise. I mean, I was 17. I was kind of surprised. It was kind of like, well, I didn't think it would. But like, that goes back to like, I didn't know that he was doing that.
That like came in your pussy.
No.
Like you didn't know the like everything that happens at that point, kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, I was new to the game. And these are things where I'm like, maybe my parents could have talked to me more about that, but I don't know how well I would have like taken it, if my mom like got elaborate.
Yeah. When did I know? Like, I'm trying to remember, like, when I realized that stuff comes out. Like, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, and I just like, I mean, you like you hear about stuff and you hear stuff from your friends and you get like the gist of it and everything, but like I didn't know. I thought most of it was in the towel. Like I don't know.
You don't know. Hey, first shot. Hey, A-dubs. Yeah, it is. And A-dubs, it is a, you said earlier, it's a distraction. It is a distraction. The craziness that's going on right now.
Yeah.
First shots.
What's it? Talking about I'm not to get pregnant. And
I didn't even know in 7th grade. I remember some boy was like, I never really thought about the actual thing. I remember I knew how to like get myself off and stuff at that point, but it wasn't about sex. And like, I remember some boy in 7th grade was like,
oh
well,
my god.
what, you're right? What happened?
I'm fine. Go ahead. I'm just dressed.
I remember some boy in 7th grade was being like gross towards me, and he's like, well, do you finger yourself? And I was like, I was kind of like, okay, I don't really know what he means by that. Like, then I was like, no, do you? And he's like, I can't. I don't like, and I was like, I didn't know. And then I kind of figured it out after that. I was like, oh, because it's funny because I did have to go to the library during some of the like sex in elementary school, but I went to some of the biological stuff, but they didn't explain like this thing goes in this thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny. Like you don't know until you're like doing it. Like,
But a lot of them are like in their 20s, and I'm like, now
to check, to like, that's the thing. It's like, trust me, I understand that there will be accidents because there's billions of people. There will be accidents. There will be things that happen, but it's like overall you can control this, or you can be, but I guess not. And they're like, the way they're freaking out, I don't get it. Like,
see the lady, the blonde, crying in front of like her thing, like all like, I know, I feel the same way. It's gonna be okay. And I'm just like, I mean, you're almost acting how I acted when my mom died. Like, you need help. Like, and this is something that I get really upset about when it comes to government. Like, I was pissed about the lockdown. I was pissed as soon as it happened. I was pissed because I didn't trust them. And but I was never like crying and making videos like, oh my god. And that actually affected my life. I mean, my husband, they tried to shut his work down, but they like fought it and they were able to still go to work. But it was funny when they got the letter saying they had to close down for 2 weeks. And like we were kind of like joking about it. I'm like, you have to spend 2 weeks with me. Like just at the house. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. And even on the weekends, I noticed with like everything like being crazy and closed, he was still getting like, oh, like I need to like go somewhere. But yeah, like I didn't even freak out that bad. And then when they passed that first omnibus bill or whatever that Trump signed, it was like trillions of dollars. And I'm like, oh, like we're fucked. And I knew he wasn't going to cut spending the way that he should cut spending, to like try and balance that out. So I'm like, oh, awesome.
and then he put the emergency in too.
Yeah, I just prepared myself as best I could. I started stocking up before 2020. Like I knew inflation was going to come. Like but inflation really isn't that hard to understand, but most people just don't get it. And like I feel like there should be such an elaborate explanation, but it's just like no, if you just print money like that, like that's it's gonna make that money worthless. Like, and if you could print money and it didn't hurt the economy, then nobody would be poor. Wouldn't you just be looking to your government to just give you more. Well, I guess some people are like, just give me more money. There are people who believe in like UBI and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy. Because then, like, well, luckily, Joe Rogan, in one of his episodes, he was like, he used to believe in the UBI, but then he was like, oh, but after, I think I've told this to you too, but he was like, a friend of his had a bar or something, and he's like, he realized the people, they were like, I can only work this many hours for my unemployment, you know, and he was like, oh, people will not do. And I'm like, yeah, have you? And then I'm like, hello, have you not seen like dependent wives? Like once they, you know, like in a way, like not in a knock, but it's like, you know, it's harder for them to like want to go back to work. Me fucking too for a full-time job. Like, you know, like it's, I'm like, yeah, this is like, it's kind of a humanity thing. Obviously, we want to be more responsible and stuff, but like, it's just, yeah, I don't get it. I remember bringing up that board I was on. I was bringing up inflation the whole time, and they're like, do. And look who was right. Me.
yeah, I get like I kind of like to like tell people that we knew it was coming, you know, because they're like, wait, how did you know? And it kind of gets them interested in the government and what they do. Like, well, wait, how did you know that? Because most people are like, I can't believe these prices, and it's like I can. Like,
And they're not, they don't like, not that we're like super smart, but like they don't follow what we follow, so they don't see that kind of stuff where that makes you like, oh, you know, so hopefully
yeah,
it gets them into it.
I don't know. I was talking to my friend about getting young people to care more about government and politics, and she was like, I mean, I guess if like you made it interesting or something that would catch their eye. And then she's it was funny, she was like, they should have a class on that, and I'm like, yeah, they probably should. They don't, and they don't for a reason. They do it on purpose. Both Republicans and Democrats don't want things like that actually taught in schools, because then people would be like, I'm not voting for either one of you. You're both terrible. You're both awful. Like you, we're like, I don't think Republicans want to realize that even from a young age, you were brainwashed to believe that you only had two choices. You were brainwashed into that. Like everybody I talked to when they were little and in elementary school, they would have mock elections, you know, and you would vote for the Republican or the Democrat. I remember doing it for Ronald Reagan. I remember doing it, and he won. You know, like I remember, like all of us kids were so excited, and I look back and I'm like, why? Like he was, I mean, like people love that man. I'm like, then when you read about him, I'm like, he was pretty fucking awful too, and he started a lot of bad things in this country too. You know, but yeah, you're trained to believe it, and like people will say to you like, oh, libertarians, they'll never win, blah blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you winning though? What did you win these last 2 years? Like our state is a Republican state right now. Our governor's Republican. He was like the first to lock down. He was one, and Trump was praising Mike DeWine. Like he was so great. And like even all these Republican women and even Democrat women, I don't know if you heard this, but they had wine with DeWine. Yeah. So every time Mike DeWine would come on and give his little COVID stuff, these women would live stream it and watch it together with locals or people, and they would have wine with DeWine. And I'm like, first of all, take care of your fucking kids that are at home right now. Like, I like my drinks, but Lord, chill out. But yeah, like, and they just loved him and loved him. And like, even the Republican women were like, we have the best governor. And I'm like, we have the worst governor. He's helping to start this. And now they're all like, oh my God, Mike DeWine is terrible. He's awful. And I'm like, and then what did you do? You all voted him to primary again. He's our primary candidate.
A-dubs. You're right, A-dubs. Because the Keynesian is like trying to control people rather than just like the Austrian is just like, this is reality. The Keynesian's like what they're trying to do to us, how they've been controlling the supply lines and supply chain, you know, like, oh, and there's like 3 trains that derailed today, and some of them were even passenger trains. There's a passenger train that derailed.
Thought it was maybe I thought one was like a coal train.
Yeah, there's been a lot of train derailments, but there was one today that was a passenger train. Like, that's scary, like there's people on there and the whole thing's like, see if I can find it here where it was.
You're being such a good girl. Yeah. You're being such a good girl. This is why I hate having a big dog. She looks so cute. I want to pick her up and cuddle her.
Well, yeah, it was 3 people were killed and others were injured when a passenger train traveling from LA to Chicago struck a dump truck and derailed in a remote area of Missouri. And then there's there's been all these other ones where it's like fertilizer, coal, etc. derailing. It's like, what's going on? I try to not think about it too much, but I did know a kid growing up out here in Colorado, and he literally derailed a train once. So I'm like, are there just people like copying or like what's going on?
Yeah, are they saying how these are happening?
Because it just takes like a big rock sometimes. This first shot. Amy Acton, they're on. Who is Amy Acton? Like someone else in government?
She was like our first shot. Was she like our Surgeon General or so? What was she? Head of maybe first shot knows her actual title. But she was the lady, she was like giving all the like medical.
Was she like the health department, public health person or something?
Or something like that.
Out here, our Colorado Department of Public Health, our governor like appointed someone to it literally right before COVID. And like, it's like, you all were fucking around. We know what you're doing. Amy Acton.
Well, at first the Democrats were saying COVID was no big deal. And then they were like, oh my God, lock up your kids. Don't breathe fresh air. There you go.
It became such a like, social media especially made people just so weird, like so, this is what we have to do and you can't think. I mean, I had friends who were like, where'd you hear that? Some YouTube person? And I'm like, who told you to say that? Some Facebook person? Like, it's just all, like, and like, when has it ever been smart people don't research things? Like, it's always been you're supposed to research things. That's what smart people do. Hey, Punisher.
It's my phone doesn't like it because I'm not showing my cleavage.
It's true. I don't like it either, but we're here.
Actually, I added a picture with me in this outfit the one day, and I was like, here's my wholesome pic.
Ah.
He's like, he's still hot.
Ah. Love it. Yeah, I hate that we've moved on. It really frustrates me, especially with all these people going fucking crazy about the stupid Roe vs. Wade. Like, health is, especially sex, like it's all within our control, and they're just like acting so weird. And like, and then who's the guy in California? Newsom. He made a post where he literally said the words mandated pregnancy, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
the only instance where you can call it that is if the woman is raped and you stop her from stopping the pregnancy. That's
right, but like everywhere has the exception for rape just about. So it's like,
and it's less than 1%. And I'm not saying that those girls and those women don't matter. That's not at all what I'm saying. But
that's what we want it there for. We want it there for them,
Actually, okay, correct me. I'm not sure, but watched and read some stuff on Roe v. Wade. But didn't she say that she was gang raped and that's how she ended up pregnant? But then
the actual Roe, but it was a lie. Yeah.
She came out later and said that it was a lie or whatever.
Yeah, she admitted on like public TV on a TV show on TV that it was a lie or something at one point back then.
I don't know. I feel like I can like see it in my head with like some ABC News type lady who was popular when I was younger or something. But yeah, that's it. I mean, and I get like people are like, well, there's women that can lie about it, and I'm like, you're right, and that's why you can still put a limit on abortion. Abortion, you could limit it to like the heartbeat law or whatever. I mean, but yeah, I don't get it. Like I said, if I was raped, I mean, there's Plan B.
Yeah, and they're like, who, and it makes me mad because I'm so undersexed, and I'm like, who are these fucking, like I've said, I'm like, who are these all fucking people having this much? But I think it is a little bit of the virtue signal where like half of them aren't, right? And it's like, that's just this weird thing where they think abortion is like their born again shit, but like no one is like, literally no one is tying anyone down to a table to have a baby. Like that's not happening. It's just so like, and I got mad during especially COVID because I'm like, listen, spreading a cold was something we were taught is, it happens, you try not to, it happens, right? But it's accidental and it's not on purpose. But I'm like, pregnancy takes a specific action that unless it's rape, you're doing it on you're doing it, and you're like, it's just, I don't get it.
Yeah, and I do get that there's men that like, well, like what I showed you today when I went on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, that guy was so funny. So I laughed because as soon as she called him out and said, "You came in me, asshole," basically. And he was like, "Well, just because you let people come." And it's like, "Do you not understand?" And then he went into the law part of it. And I'm like, "Listen, buddy, let's like not talk about the law part of it. Let's talk about how you didn't even try to prevent it. And then
Right?
you want to like have a law against it or whatever." It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, it's
I
so, yeah.
if I wasn't laying, because when I read that, I was laying back to do my leg workouts, so I like have my phone like this, and I'm just like, wow, like she
Getting
is
it.
something with it, man. And
I
it's
love it.
because yeah, like a couple months ago, me and him were talking, and we just started going back and forth about some stuff, and I wasn't happy with something that he said, and he's like, "What are you PMSing?" And I'm like, "You're 36 years old. I'm a 42-year-old woman. Do you really think when we're having a serious conversation, you should be like, oh, are you PMSing?" So, like, that girl's right. Like, you weren't responsible enough to have kids, but yet you were going around like apparently. Mom sees it.
Did she see it yet? Do you know?
She reads everything of him, so she's gonna see that for sure, And I mean, part of me agrees with him, but then it's like, practice what you preach.
Yeah, walk the walk, talk the talk, walk the walk. You need to
Or
lock the door.
I'm actually gonna go outside in a minute because I'm like sweating so bad in there. Like it's bad.
What else was I gonna say that was kind of related? Oh, another girl I saw, I don't know whoever it is, but Ducey, whoever, he's a governor somewhere, I believe. And like these girls were like, "Well, why did your son ask me to take Plan B after we had sex?" And I'm like, "Okay, listen. First of all, he was just asking for extra precaution. So like, it's not like he asked you to get an abortion, And it's like he was actually being responsible to preserve life, kind of thing. And it's like everyone's just so messed up, and I get it. Everyone's always been so messed up about sex and in every single aspect about it, right? But like, we have all the information at our fingertips. We have more ways.
Did.
What?
We have more information than we ever did.
Yeah, we have more literally ways to prevent things, and we know. We know how to prevent this, and it's like, why are these people acting like they're just spontaneously getting pregnant? I don't get it. Like,
they're all Virgin Marys.
what was the other thing I saw too? Oh shit! What was I just gonna say? what was it? I forget, but there's something else. It'll come to me anyways.
Did you there's a lady on Libs of TikTok that she was like all like
Oh yeah, the like kind of redhead.
I don't was she the redhead? I don't know. There's been so many of them. Well, there was a lady like dressed in like she had on like black knee pads. Hey, be quiet. See, I'm a sucker. Wait, where to go? I'm getting them in orange.
And he was supposed to be in bed.
I'm so bad at like putting my kids to bed. I'm not even gonna lie. One time, my friend, I said, "Why don't my kids ever go to bed?" And he's like, "Cause they're your kids, and you never go to bed." And he's right.
A-Dubs, exactly. He's underwhelmed with the protests this weekend. Can women not do organized? They're blocking the highways in LA and stuff, but it's like you can literally have abortions there. That's what's so dumb about all of this. It's like I said, in Colorado, there was all this protest, and I'm like, the governor just passed something that like you can literally kill the baby after birth here. So like, what the fuck are you protesting? Like, what the fuck are you even fucking protesting? It's just so bizarre to me.
Man, I said in 2019 that the Democrats were gonna like be running on. You can kill your kids up until they're 18. I was like, that's what they're gonna start running on. Here,
kids are really like. I mean, kind of technically they do, because then they send them to war at 18. You know, the government. It is. Why are kids so? I mean, obviously, I know why kids are so victimized, because they're kids. You know, like.
and even 18, like that's so young. Yeah, I am gonna go outside. Oh my god, it's so hot in there.
Is it cooler outside?
Yeah, it was really cool today. But I can't open the windows in that room because there's no screens on them. And all of them.
I was thinking today about how a lot of the states, the longest mask, excuse me, the longest mask wearing was with kids. And it's like, why are all these freaks after the kids like that? Or like, it's just so, it makes me mad as someone who's, obviously I'm not a mom, but like, I do have like maternal instincts. I've been a nanny and shit like that, but it's like, it's so bizarre to me that kids are just, it's just so scary for them nowadays. I don't know. It's just hard.
And masks on gross because
it made no sense. It made no fucking sense.
We went to Great Wolf Lodge when masks were still like mandated in part of it. And like just watching these kids, like they're sweating and they're like wiping their mask wiping their sweat with their mask. I'm like, ugh. It's not working.
No, it's so gross. Like kids probably got more damage from masks at school, you know. I would think.
So much.
I'm muting for a second. Hold. No, it just makes me so sad. And did you see yesterday at the Pride event the naked people?
Yeah, friends and I were talking about that today. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? If I took my kids to a strip club, I could get arrested.
I'm like, I'm a naked person. I go to naked resorts and nudist resorts and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? Like, this is so to kids. If the adults want to go and they have an all-adult naked bike ride, fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with that shit. Like, even if it breaks the law, I'd be fine with that. But like, having what the hell were they? And there's do you see that? Like, the kids are right the fuck there, and I'm like, if that mom, I made a post about this. I'm like, if that mom had gotten sent unsolicited dick pic, she would freak the fuck out. She would freak the fuck out. We all know it. Like, she would be, if it was at work or wherever, she would freak the fuck out. But then she brings her daughter where there's like that. And that's why, like, I've even said at nudist resorts where there's kids there, I hate it. And I leave and I go somewhere else. And it's because that's a boundary I don't like. Like, if it was my own kid, if I was a mom, we'd be fucking like naked probably on our property, you know, but it would be different, right? Like, but it's strangers. These are strangers and there's dicks, okay? Like, and there is fundamentally something different between men and women where men love showing their fucking dicks, whether you want to see it or not. Like, they just fucking do. Even at the nudist resort in the hot springs, like, the dudes, they shirt cock all the time where they wear a shirt. I'm like, just don't wear anything, but they'll wear a shirt and their cock's hanging out. But then they'll like stand up in the hot springs and then they're like cocks right here. You know, they have it right above water. Like, men, we know how men are. Like, I know how men fucking are. And I'm okay with it to some extent because I'm like, whatever. But like, why would you bring your kids to that? Like, it's just like, it's like the creepy uncle is like allowed now. It's just out and about, you know?
Yeah, I never the uncle, thank God.
You know, thank God me either. Like, thank God nothing terrible happened to me like that. But like, I know people who did, or creepy grandpa and stuff like that. And it's like, what is going on? Like, how is a naked bike, first of all, how does a naked bike ride have anything to do with sexuality and pride? And you're like, I'm a person too, even though I like the same sex. That's what pride should be. I'm a person too, but even though I like the same sex or something else, right? But like, what does a naked bike ride have to do with that? And why does that have to be in the parade?
Yeah, you're sexualizing your love when you have said didn't they used to like act like conservatives were like, oh, you're just gay because you're kinky and you're weird, and it's like, well, look at how you're acting now. You're like,
that's why I said the normal gay people are pissed off because like I know plenty of normal gay people. I'll say no. I'm just gonna use the word normal, not activists. That's what I mean by that. But like, and they're not kinky. They're not like, they just have a normal one-on-one, you know. But then you have all these people, and I'm like, what does you wouldn't take a kid, or you wouldn't have like swingers on a parade float being like, this is how you swap, you know, like that's what. And they're like, these people who are out in like the doggy suits, the leather stuff, they specifically get off doing that, but they want to have it out in front of people. And I'm like, how is that? And this is what's sad, because everybody knows me, I'm a degenerate as fuck person, but like, and it's sad that I have to be the voice of reason right now. Like, but there's like, it just, hey, wind model, it just maybe like, it's the whole thing with like, remember Tubin, who was like jacking off on it was some like Zoom call for,
like, and he's like such a weird dude too.
and I'm like, I get how men are like that, where they're like, they want to do that kind of a thing, but he got busted doing it and they still were like, fine, you know, like, and I'm like, how did he probably did it on purpose, which means he's an exhibitionist, which if you want to do that shit, you can go to adult places and you can literally, like I said yesterday, I'm like, I am fine with the like most disgusting performance art you want to do. If you want to do something terribly disgusting, I'm okay with it, but you do it at like an adult only space, you know, like it's not that fucking hard. I don't get why they're like, how much attention do you need that you have to do it in front of fucking kids?
And it's women doing it now too. I think, you know what though, I do think women like get off though. I'm
exhibitionist as hell, for sure.
You wouldn't do it in front of kids though.
No. Oh, hell no. No. I don't even like wearing bikinis around kids. Like I you know, like I just feel a little weird about it.
I haven't worn a bikini since Scarlett's been born. And
well, you should go in.
I totally could have. Like my figure was good and I, you know, but like, yeah.
There's
like
something about modesty. There's something about modesty.
Yeah. But like, listen, this one time we went to Great Wolf Lodge and it was funny, but it's kind of not funny in a way because I I think women like ignore this fact, but we were in the family hot tub there. There's a family hot tub, and then there's an adults only hot tub. So me and Adam go in there with Scar, and there's like 3 boys like playing over in this one part, and there's this lady sitting there, she's like done up and stuff, but like the water's up, and then she goes to get out, and she's like and she had, well, as Adam explains, brand new bolt-ons. And she had on this tiny, shiny gold bikini. And Adam is just looking, like, we look over at these boys and they're like, huh?
And it's like, why wasn't she, were they her boys, or why wasn't she just in the adult only one? Like, why not just go?
They weren't her kids. Those kids had nothing. And what was crazy is, yeah, she wasn't in there with one of her kids. She was just sitting in the family hot tub. And it's like Adam and I said, like she got out, and Adam whispered to me, he's like, those boys aren't getting out of this hot tub for a while. And there's women that'll be like, well, they should learn to control themselves. And it's like, they're 13-year-old boys. Like, they're horny and they can't control it. Because I hung out with like all boys most of the time growing up, and I remember being a teenager and like guys talking to me about getting boners, and they would be like, I don't even have to think a chick is that hot, but if I see boobs or she rubs on me the wrong way, they're like, we can't control it. Like, it just has a mind of its own.
That's what
Like there's women that will be like, oh, boys need to learn to control themselves. And it's like, well, and it's harder to hide when you're in the water, and you get out of the water. Like, that's, you can see they're pitching a tent. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you have on jeans I guess I don't know.
And there's just time and a place to be fucking like super sexy. Like, this is just a time and a place,
Yeah, and there's a lot of women at Great Wolf Lodge that like they still look very beautiful. I'd like to think I looked very beautiful in my nice new bathing suit, but I wasn't like all. Yeah, that was definitely.
It wasn't Vegas. You're not Vegas where it's like you can do whatever in Vegas,
Yeah, but like I remember even like when I was swimming with a boy when I was younger, and well, I was in my 20s and he was like 11, and he like kept staring at my boobs, and I was like, ugh. And like some girls were like, how terrible. And I'm like, he's a boy. Like, you know what I mean?
And you can be responsible and remove yourself from the situation, kind of, or whatever. Like,
because that shit's uncomfortable, but I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, there's a time and a place for everything. And kids don't need to like see everything. And the whole like sexual liberation thing, it's like sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what that was about, because people were having plenty of sex even before, like
it was just behind the scenes.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that I know, like they got married young, they waited to get married until, they did, but a lot of people had sex before they were married, even in the 1900s. And yeah, like people were there were whorehouses everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wasn't there places where it would say like no women except for whores? Well, maybe not whores.
They'd let me in.
But it was it was only the prostitutes were allowed in certain bars or whatever. Like, that's how it was. I think I've read some shit about stuff people did back then. Even in Roman times, like some of the gay shit that you can read about. It's weird, like really weird.
Yeah, everyone was Alexander the Great. They were fucking gay.
They were all gay. Everybody was.
Because what the hell else? They didn't have technology, so what the hell else were you gonna do at that point? You're gonna you're gonna dive in. But like talking about like at the one nudist resort I go to, it's family friendly, which is like it's just more hippy dippy European in that sense, right? Where nudity's a little different, but like even then I'm still like because first of all, they have a nice big pool there, and it's hot, like a hot spring. And there's like another pool like 20 minutes down the road that's a regular pool. And I'm like, but people want to bring their kids here and scream and shit. And I'm at this like forest. It's like a magical fairy forest to relax, you know? And like I remember one time I was in this one pool. It's one thing if it's a little baby or a toddler, like whatever, but like in this one pool, if you find these like little marbles at the bottom, you can get like a free ice cream or something like that. And so like there's like these 9 and 10-year-old boys like, hey, have you seen the marbles? And they like coming up to me. Well, I'm just like naked, you know, in the water, which it's not a problem for me, but I'm just like trust me, in a perfect world, I would want for us all to feel safe and be able to be that way. But I'm like, I don't like that boundary. I don't like it. Like, I don't want to be naked around other people's kids, you know? It's just like a little weird.
Yeah.
A lot weird.
Like, oh my God, speaking of people naked with their kids, like that shit with Joe Biden showering with his daughter. I'm like, dude, your daughter should never remember
Yeah,
showering.
you do it when you're a tiny baby, and that's it.
Like, with our kids, when they were like, when they get to like a certain point where you can hold them comfortably in the shower, like sometimes like if one of us was taking the shower, it's like, okay, take the baby, I'll wash them off real quick, rinse them, you know, and give them back, you know, because it was like an easy way to give a shower. But like we didn't do that with our kids like when they weren't a baby.
Yeah.
You know, like
there's
I mean,
and I love beautiful pictures of women being naked as well, holding their naked baby, because there's something, you know, it's just so beautiful and like not weird.
like now they do a lot the skin on skin, you know, like, and Adam would, I mean, he was shirtless most of the time because both our kids were born in the summer. So yeah, like that's like good for the baby for that skin on skin. And then I breastfed, so that was, you know, a lot of skin on skin. But yeah, I mean, Scarlett, I showered with when she was a little bit older, but she doesn't like remember it. Like she was little. And then Grayson, well, he's just fucking nuts. Nobody's that kid's fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's like everything, a time and a place when you're, like I said, like and I actually don't mind if it's your family and you're at home and y'all want to run around naked and it's pure and innocent, fine. But like other people, it just adds this weird.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, even if it is your family, when you have a kid that's of like the opposite sex, for real, what part of go to bed do you not understand? It's 11 o'clock. No. I said no. He was like, oh, fine.
precious little boy.
Dude, he's so cute, man. Like, it's like having a boy is so different than a girl because he can just be like so crazy and then he's like so sweet to me. Like, he was being so nuts today, and then he comes up to me and he's like touching my cheek all gently. And then he's like giving me kisses, and then he laid his head on me. He's like, I love you so much, mommy. And I'm like, I love you. I love you too. I mean, you were just screaming at me a minute ago, but I love you too. But that's having a boy for sure. And it's wild. I try to stay so calm with him. Like I try with his crazy to bring a calmness, you know. So today what the hell was he looking for? Oh, he didn't have a pair of underwear that he liked. So he's like getting so mad at me. And I'm like, Grayson, just go look in your room. And he's like, no, you find them. And I'm like, why are you I'm like, I have become one of those women. I'm like, why are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling at you.
Just says, Alice, have you tried the rattle can method of nap time? What is that, shaking a can at him? Go to bed. What's a rattle can, Debs?
My kids are both past nap time. It's bedtime. What is a rattle can though? I want to know.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I just think of like sometimes with dogs, you fill a pop can with like rocks. And you say no. It like scares them. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that though.
Yeah, like Adam just, it's when he sits up, it's awesome to go to bed. But yeah, they're both crazy. And it's different because they're not in regular school. And then now it's rough because all of Scarlett's friends are out of school, so they can stay. They're like, their parents are just like, whatever, stay up late, do whatever you want. And I'm like, ugh,
You try to keep somewhat of a schedule, right? Like, or
we don't. What sucks right now is because we've done so much stuff, been doing so much stuff to the house. It's like hard to get a schedule going. So I'm
says
a better.
you shake the kid until they stop making noise like a spray can. I love it. Terrible.
I do remember when our son was young and he like he wasn't a horrible sleeper, but he definitely had his nights. And yeah, Adam was just like, oh my God, like just, oh. And I didn't like the kids not sleeping in our room. My
You
mom
didn't like it, or you did like it?
I did like it. I wanted them in our room. And my mom and my husband and my dad like had to sit me down when Scarlett was like 9 or 10 months old, and they're like, she needs to stop with sleeping in your room. And I'm like, but she's my baby, you know? And like, but my mom and dad were those type of parents that were like, I mean, they told me straight up, they're like, you need to have sex and you're not going to do it with that baby always in your room, you know? And my mom would be like, I don't care what these like new weirdo moms say. You need to have a life outside your kids and you need to still have sex. And just straight up one day, she's like, are you having sex? And I'm like, no. She's like, and when was the last time? When I was first pregnant? She's like, yeah, see, it's been over a year since you had sex. What kind of a marriage is that?
Do you want to keep going, or is it too late for you? I have to pee if we do.
No, you can keep going. I'll pee too, and I'll.
All right, everybody. All right, all the boys watching. We'll be right back. Is it something? Mine seemed to work on the phone. If you want to send me something.
It's all right. I just have to do everything through my computer.
I had to download something to make it work on the phone.
Oh. Well, I downloaded the printer thing. Too much, Tanner.
Hey. We are perverts. Why are y'all here? Because y'all perverts. But I love you. Mommy loves you. Oh, shit. I got more to drink. I was just thinking if I should have got more to drink too, but whatever. Sibling, we're conscious degenerates. We know when there's a time and a place and like when to do it. It says we're degenerates. Or first shot said we're perverts, and he said we're degenerates.
No, I'm a very sophisticated lady.
You're damn sophisticated.
What's funny is like I'm not like really uptight about stuff, but some stuff like that Adam says, I'll be like, Adam, you know I don't like that kind of talk. Stop.
Was like too much for you?
Well, sometimes he'll say stuff on Twitter and I make him delete it.
You're like, stop it. Oh shit.
I give him the sometimes I just give him the the Justin Timberlake gift. It's like one of my favorite
Oh,
gifts. The stare. And I give him that look in real life. He's like, man, you got that stare down. It's like he stole my stare. That was my stare to you. And then my other favorite one is the Obama gift, where he's like, we're funny though. We like send each other stupid shit and send gifts back and forth to each other, and
you guys are adorable.
we're fun. We try to be. We try not to be too boring because our life does get like kind of boring.
Life gets monotonous, no matter what.
Yeah, and like just like with everything we're doing with the house, and then just he works a lot, and then me just being home with the kids all the time. Like I'm so boring most of the time. Like my friend used to make fun of me because she would like come over and I'd have on like a little dress like this and I'd be baking cookies and lemonade. She's like, God, you're just like this quaint little fucking housewife that slams beers on Saturday. Like it's just so weird, you know? She's like, to see you how you are on Saturday nights, and then I come in here like during the week to hang out. You're like, oh, I made some homemade cookies and some fresh.
That's how we have it all. You have it all. Let's just having it all.
Well, when my one friend hopefully comes over in a couple weeks, I'm gonna make some fresh lemonade, but put vodka in it.
That sounds so. I've been. Well, I haven't done it since, but yeah, I'm like, oh, that vodka and limeade and vodka and lemonade is so good.
I don't make fresh lemonades for groups anymore because I made what I thought was a bunch of lemonade for a smallish party one time, and it was like that, and I'm like, you motherfucker! Like,
It was so good.
It's so good when it's homemade, but there's a lot more sugar in it though too.
Yeah, it's all good.
So
but it's
good.
like it's still even like sugar that you put in when you make it. It's still probably better than the stuff we buy for the most part, you know.
So much better. But I need to get like, I don't know, like an automatic squeezer or juicer or whatever. Like I have the one that I have to sit there and be like, it's a lot of work. But I don't know that more.
He doesn't have to. He's always like, how do you drink so much beer? I'm like, I don't know, man.
I know you drink a lot of beer,
but I don't like I've cut it down to like pretty much once a week drinking beer, but I'll drink other stuff during the week. So. But I also drink like light. It's like Corona for the most part, which like whatever.
With my Bud Light, man, like I gained so much weight. Like gained weight when I moved in with my dad, and then I lost some weight, and then fucking COVID, and like I think we were like in the end of May of COVID, and I could just sit out back and drink a 12-pack of beer. Like, it's good, everything's fine, it's great. And then them damn turkey sandwiches, and then fucking French fries. Me with the fucking French fries.
How do you cook them?
It depends on what I have. Like, if I make them homemade, I just fry them in terrible, seedy vegetable oil. Although I did get a thing of avocado oil, and I was like, I'm gonna use this just to make my onion rings, because the avocado oil is expensive, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like $8.75 for like, wasn't that big of a bottle, but it's enough that I can fry some food in it and I can reuse it a few times. So I heard it's really good to fry food in. So
it's better. Yeah, it's better than some of the other stuff.
But yeah, so like with all the baking and stuff that I do, if I used avocado oil, it would make it so much more expensive than just buying like Little Debbie. But I would rather bake from scratch and use some like vegetable oil or canola oil or whatever sometimes than be buying all that crap from the store. But my husband,
it's fine.
He loves his Little Debbie shit. And I'm like, no more Little Debbies, no more of this. I'm gonna start baking more again. You guys should not be eating this shit. So the other day, him and the boy go to the store. My son comes up to me, he's like, Mommy, I got a Kinder Egg. And I'm like, Oh, you did? And he's like, Yeah, I can't wait to open it and see my surprise. And then my husband comes in, he's like, Oh, he really made out at the grocery store. And I look and I'm like, I'm going to put stuff away. I'm like, yeah, he did. He had Oreos, he had Hershey bars in there. I was like, oh my God. And the other day when we were at the gas station, I was going to get the kids a treat. And he's like, no, they don't need a treat. And I'm like, you came home with the store.
That's so like dad, even like Mr. Forrest mommy. When I go to the grocery store, I'm like ding 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 ding. Don't get like junk, but then he goes with it's like, yeah, we get so much junk. It's just so junk.
Definitely more stuff when
No,
yeah.
First Shot. I just got this on Amazon, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah, you need to like V-neck shit. I'm about to
Oh
stop.
yeah, I know. Yeah, like V-neck and not race. I hate the racer back tank tops that everyone. I like tank tops that are like regular shape, you know, or like especially like the wife beater, like ribbed ones, you know, like that's all I wear, but no one sells that stuff with stuff on it.
Yeah, I'm about to like start going off on Maj Toure because he doesn't have any V-neck stuff. We got the Freedom Over Everything shirt, and they're really nice. Like the material and stuff, it's really nice. But some lady came up to Adam at Walmart, and I saw her go up to him, and I saw this lady talking to him, and I thought they were just like, I don't know, talking about how crazy my kid is. But she came up to him, and she's like, "Oh, are you MAGA?" And Adam's like, "No," and she's like, oh, I am. She's like, I have all the shirts and hats and flags. She's like, so where did you? Or she's asked him where he got it, and he was like, well, Maj Toure, Black Guns Matter. She's like, oh, so you're like the opposite then? And he was like, no,
What? Everyone's so stupid.
yeah, I'm walking up to him and I see this like look on his face, and I come up to him and he's like, dude, this lady came up to me and asked me if I was MAGA. I was like, well, you said you wanted people to notice your shirt. They noticed your shirt. But yeah.
At least you could bring up Maj Toure to her. Not that she probably cared, but or it made you be opposite.
You would think a lot of Trumpers know who Maj is, but I guess not. I don't know. They're like, you know how people are like, and I'm not knocking on all Trump supporters. I know Trump supporters that are very smart and intelligent people, and they're not all like MAGA and into that kind of stuff. They just voted for Trump and they thought he was fucking funny, and they just whatever. But yeah, I know some really dumb Trump supporters. I'm just like, oh my goodness, dude. Oh my God, the one is just like too much for me. Like, she'll come over here and like she's like freaking out over like all these chemicals and stuff, and I'm like, you smoke cigarettes, drug addict. Not saying like you shouldn't pay attention to things, but sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, like you people just take this to like a whole new level, and it's just, I don't know, like it's
a religion as well, just like the left has adopted the government as religion. Some right people have too. Like it just is what it is. Where it's like, I hate even a little bit in the Libertarian Party or like within this like liberty, umbrella. People will sometimes like kind of not necessarily worship, but they'll like hold certain people up to a really high. And I'm like, like it's a little, you don't need to do that. Like, it's a little weird.
like I love Ron Paul, and he's part of the reason that I gravitated towards libertarianism. I mean, originally it was actually John Stossel. I don't know if anybody knows who that is.
We know John Stoss.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have cable, and my friend and I would come home and watch 2020. John Stossel was on, and it was just kind of like, wow, like this guy kind of gets it, like he would talk about stuff that me as a young person that I would like question, like the war on drugs. I was like, this seems really fucked up to me that you're treating somebody who smokes weed the same as you treat somebody who smokes crack, but even still, if somebody smokes crack, do you really think throwing them in jail is the answer? So, and then I ended up seeing like him like talk about Ron Paul, and I was like, I didn't know who Ron Paul was. And then I started watching Ron Paul, and I was like, holy shit. But what really fucking started getting me like, oh wow, like this goes really deep is I was just sitting there one day and I saw a thing about Malcolm X, and I was like, why didn't I learn about Malcolm X in school? And then I looked up Malcolm X and I just started listening to him, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's kind of fucked up that, they never showed us anything about him. And then what turned me against the media was like finally made me just be like, I'm not watching any of this anymore. Was, do you remember Mike Brown? The hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah.
Whole thing. So I would watch all the news stations like CNN and Fox, and like in the morning I would watch like headline news, and I loved Court TV. I love that fucking show. I love sitting there watching like live courtroom shit happen. Well, then the Supreme Court or grand jury hearing happened with that. And I read it. Like I sat down and read it. It took me like 3 days to read. And I'm like, y'all are fucking liars. Like this is completely different than everything that was being told to us. Like this is a complete freaking opposite of it. And I was pissed. And that's been what, like over about 10 years since that happened, right?
Yeah.
I was like, gosh, you guys just fucking lie about stupid shit. But I still didn't realize how bad it was until the Parkland shooting. That like really made me go like, holy shit, because they showed on CNN, they showed a dude with a semi-auto shotgun, and they're like, watch this guy blow away a watermelon with his AR-15. Mind you, I'm not a gun person at all. Like, I know how to shoot guns. I know how to use our guns. But I'm not somebody who can be like, oh, that's a Smith and Wesson, blah, 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 blah. But I knew damn well that was a semi-automatic shotgun, and they're playing it off like it's an AR-15. It's like, yeah, those are two totally different bullets. Like, I mean, my husband doesn't even want me to shoot a semi-automatic shotgun because he's like, that'll fucking put you on your ass.
You could though. You look badass doing it.
It looks fun. That's and my friend, one of our friends has one, and I'm like, let me shoot. He's like, I'll let you shoot it. I don't care if you fall on your ass.
That's
He's
so
like,
fun. There's so many videos of people like falling, getting hurt just from the recoil, Are you hitting the cigarettes? Man.
and I've done. I blame Anna.
I kind of want to smoke one. I'm not even that drunk, and I like wish I could smoke a cigarette right now. It sounds good.
I know. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes I don't even inhale.
It's just that, like, even when I start smoking a lot of joints too, like I can see how you get addicted to that with cigarettes. Like I get it.
Yeah, I got like really bad with joints for like a while, like really bad. I can't do that anymore. Now
I'm still kind of bad with them.
You're like, you want me to what? Cook for you? That seems wild.
Oh, we're the worst people. I love that we know each other because we're the worst people ever.
It is. That's too much, man. Like, I mean, some people, man, they can get so fucking high. Well, I could get high and like do shit, but I can't have people around me.
Oh, I can be high and no one even fucking knows. I'm a professional.
Well, see, people like, I think certain people would notice it in me. Like, you would probably just be laughing at the way I do things. You know what I mean? Like, because I just get really weird about stuff when I'm cleaning, and I'm like that, and I just do things really weird. So I guess some people would notice, but some people would just be like, "You're retarded." You know, I wonder. Okay, you know the fucking wine moms, right? And they're always drinking wine, like always. Like they're sitting on like vlogging every day with their fucking glasses of wine and shit, dude. And then they have their Xanax too. So yesterday I had one drink and it had like the tiniest bit of tequila in it. And it took me 20 minutes to figure out that I could just get a pen and paper and write stuff down. 20 fucking minutes for me to think of that because my mind went that far off of one drink. And I'm like, how do these wine and Xanax moms do it? Because I could not do it. I would be like trying to get the kids' schoolwork together and be like, oh my God, like this is hard.
Scatterbrained. I
But
don't
I
know.
maybe it's the same thing with them because they do it all the time.
Well, yeah, their tolerance is, is
But
what it is.
yeah, like Adam makes fun of me because like when we have a fire, there's like at a certain point where I'm like, I can't deal with the kids anymore. Like you need to talk to them.
Like, I'm done. I'm done.
When we had that party, it was me, Hex, and somebody else outside. And Adam's like, you need to watch the dog and Grayson. We're going in to do shots. So I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, like you have to actually watch your kid. I'm like, keep an eye on Grayson. And then I'm like, where the fuck did the dog go? I'm like running around the yard, calling for the dog. And then I come to the fucking house and she's in the fucking house. And Adam's like, oh yeah, she just came in here. And I'm like, dude, I was looking everywhere for the dog. Like, oh my God. Like I kept the kid there, but I lost the dog.
Oh my God. You did good though. You did good.
Yeah, I was something special that night, man. Like, whoo.
I had a special night that night too. I was by myself, but
Next time it comes over, we'll have to call you earlier.
or I can just not be a fucking idiot and get the spins too. Like that's fine. Like, I can have self-control to some extent. I don't know.
I didn't even remember it. I was like,
Oh,
whoo.
you still have a lot of drink left. Or like half a cup. Damn it. Should I get more? Are we being bad? Are we the worst people in the world? But like, what the hell else is there to do?
Oh man, there's a bug in my drink. You know what I was wondering the other day?
Hmm.
I wonder if these bugs have landed in my beers and I never even noticed it and I drank them.
You wouldn't know.
Ugh, that's the worst. One time I fucking drank a beer that Adam put a cigarette out in.
Gross.
It was bad. And he's not the husband that's like scared of me at all. Like, there's husbands that are like scared of their wife that are gonna be like, oh shit, like it's my fault. I just made her drink ash. Not Adam, dude. He was laughing. I mean, he was like, ah.
I can imagine that. Just being like, you dumb girl.
I mean, in my defense, it looked like my beer. Man, this tequila. I put like a lot of tequila in these.
Did you put a lot? I was trying to be pretty good today. I could do more, but
Yeah,
it's up to you. It's later by you, so I don't ever want to like, keep you up.
So I am not the mom that like gets her kids up like all early and shit. I prefer to get up before the kids. And since they're homeschooled, like it's okay for them to like sleep till like 9 or 10. So yeah, like I just get up and I drink water and hydrate myself and then I just go about my day. Usually. that one party we had, I was not functioning very well the next day.
That's okay though when you're like having a party and stuff. When
They
you're at
won't.
home, especially when you're at home, it's like fuck it.
Yeah, like we came in that night and turned on a movie.
Just keep it going, baby.
Adam's like, you guys came in and watched him. Like, I guess he told Scarlett to go to bed, and then I came inside and I don't remember this, and I feel kind of. But Scarlett was in the kitchen, and me and Hex came in, and I'm like, oh my God, Scar, do you want to watch a movie? She's like, yeah. After Adam just told her to go to bed, and I'm like, hey, movie. And then the next day, she's like telling Adam about it, and he was like, you guys watched a movie? And I'm like. I was like, I vaguely remember putting on The Secret Window. And Scar's like, yeah, she's like, Hex passed out, then Mom passed out, and then I started falling asleep and I just went to bed. And like, I didn't even remember like getting up off the couch to go to bed. I told Hex, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like the worst host. Like, because usually when people spend the night, I like get them pillows and a blanket, make sure they're all comfortable. But that night I was just, and it's the first time he's at my house, and I'm just like,
It happens. It happens.
it's hot out here too.
You're a
Oh,
hot mama.
at least I got on my dress. I would be like,
Yeah, air out the coochie.
It's so hot. I hate the humidity too because it makes you all sticky. And yesterday it rained, so it got really fucking muggy. And I think that like ruined my night last night because I had poured a drink. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna sit in the breezeway and have my drinks and listen to music. And I sat out here for like an hour, and I'm like, it's hot and it's muggy. So I went in and we went to bed, and I woke up not feeling good. I'll text you why I wasn't feeling good. Like a different, it was like a whatever. But I wasn't feeling good. And then, yeah, I was like, maybe I'll try. So it was like funny when you text me and you're like, what are you doing? And I was like,
Excuse to maybe have a drink or two.
I've been like pretty good though, for sure. So responsible. I'm the most.
We're doing the best we can, right?
I told Adam the one day, I was like, I don't even remember. I said I had to do something. And I was like, I'm going to be 42 years old. It's time for me. And I was like, I'm actually going to be 43 years old. It's time for me to grow up. And then with my mom dying, I was like, oh, it's been like 7 years since Mom died. So it took me like 7 years to get my shit back together. I was like, mad and pathetic because I was miserable. Like, you wouldn't have liked me.
It's understandable.
It's like I would have come across you like after my dad died. You probably wouldn't have liked me because I was just so unhappy. Like, and I was just so angry and just felt like nobody could understand me, and I wanted to like just turn into this shell and just be left alone. I actually did tell Adam though a couple months before I started talking to you and Hex, I'm like, it's really sad and pathetic about me. And he's like, what? I was like, I'm probably never gonna make new friends again, like ever. I'm like the friends I have now, it's probably it. I was like, I'm so fucked up, I'm so broken and so jaded after everything that happened. I was like I'm never gonna connect with anybody again. And I'm like, and that's kind of sad. I was like, yeah, like you're the most important, you and the kids are the most important and valuable connections that I'll ever have. I'm like, but it is sad to think about, like, so I'm just never going to make a new friend again. Like, this is just it. And he's like, he didn't even know what to say. And then isn't that funny that I ended up coming across you guys? Like, that's so.
Now we all besties.
Yeah, it's all like, I'm fucking broken and jaded and nobody fucking loves me.
I get it, though. I get it.
I joke about his mom. I'm like, I'm like, I love your mom because she made you jaded enough to be with me. I was like, because if you were raised by like a really nice, good family, I was like, you would have never married me. Like a lot of times I'm still like, I can't believe this guy married me. Like I'm so happy. He told me that night, he was like, I think the same of you. Like I'll look at you, he's like, I can't believe this woman married me. Like I can't believe I got this. And I'm like, I know, it's crazy.
Aww.
I think we married up. So it's cute. But yeah, like I can't believe I scored that. Like I look at my sisters and I'm like, ha, bitches. Not only is my man domesticated in the way that the way you wish your husbands were domesticated, I know you wish you had a man like mine throwing you down at night. I know you.
He's a catch.
Yeah, like I know there's fucking women that will like look at my husband kind of like, ugh, and it's like, I know when you go home, that's the dude you're fantasizing about. Like maybe not my husband specifically, but you know you like it. You know you like it, man. You know you like it. You know you wish your husband would throw you down on the bed and just take you. Like you wish.
Oh, God, I hope Adam listens to this tomorrow. Oh my God.
Just send him the link and be like, here's something to listen to on the way to the airport. It's true though, because I've talked to some of these women like when they're drunk and they'll like say some shit and it's like, I mean, I don't know, like, yeah, I mean, sometimes my husband's just, like I have had conversations with very yuppie type of women at my sister's house. And yeah, I've had like women like say to me, they're like, he just takes you when he wants you, doesn't he? And I'm like, yeah. It's hot.
Oh God, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But they like, they date these men that on paper, like, I guess seem good to them, but yeah. And I know,
You need that spark, that, ah.
yeah. It's like, there's like a meme with like some warrior type dude, like he's got his woman thrown over his shoulder and he's like grabbing her ass or whatever. And it's like, you want this, ladies. And I'm like, I do.
You're correct. That's what I do want.
Like, it's like when Adam and I met, like we didn't go out for 2 years. I would just come home and like tell my dad about the hot landscaper guy that would come into my work. I'm like, he's so hot, Dad. Like he's so like rugged and dirty and he has this raspy voice and he's just so hot. Like my poor dad. Like he's probably like, of all the kids that are willing to take care of me, this is the fucking one.
When he shares all our shit.
Hey, my dad told me once, he was like, if you don't orgasm every time, that's your fault. I was like,
There is kind of some truth to that. Like, you got to know what you're doing too. Make it work.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, I would come home and just talk about him. And then, yeah, we went out for the first time. I was just like, oh my God, you're so fucking hot. Like, just so sexy. Like, I hope I never, like, look at my husband, like and not be attracted to him. Like, because there's like that does happen. But like I see like women on Twitter, like the way they talk about their husband, the way I talk about Adam, and I'm like, oh good. Like that makes me happy to see that you look at your husband that way.
Right.
Like real shitty Ginger or something is her name. Like she's always talking about how hot her husband looks working on the farm, and I'm like, I bet. Like, can we get some pictures?
You're like, prove it, girl. Come on. Help us out a little.
But yeah, it's hot when guys do work and they're sweaty and shit. hot.
Oh yeah, blue collar for like I love that shit. Blue
Yeah.
collar, or at least strong like a blue collar person. Like,
Yeah, like even if you're like an office guy, but that's just like what you do. But when you're at home, you're more of like the blue collar guy. Like that's still really hot too. You can work both. Like my dad
yeah.
was that way a little bit, but yeah, that's sexy. But yeah, there's a lot of like I see a lot of men um that want like the trad wife, but they don't do trad shit. And it's like, because for a woman to be a traditional wife, like you either have to make a lot of money because you're gonna have to pay somebody to do like all the shit, or you have to know how to do that shit yourself. Like
That's
when
true.
my husband comes home and he fixes the sink.
It's hot.
Hopefully,
It's hot when they like fix the like he's been out in the like cold fixing shit in the car and I'm like, oh like it's just hot. Like I'm like in the cold, like, oh like he's like, I can fix something, it's fine. And I'm like, oh my God.
they
Wow.
they just smell like man.
Mm-hmm.
They just smell so good. Yeah,
Ugh.
we told him because he ran out of deodorant and didn't realize it because we shop in bulk. So sometimes he thinks he has another stick, but he doesn't. So he wore my fucking deodorant. And it's just weird, like, because you smell girly. Like, I like it when you smell like a man. And then, like, when we were living with my dad, like, I was like gross all the time. I never really smelled girly. And then I felt stupid because I'm like, I want to smell like a girl. And I'm like, and I just smell like pee and chewed up food and shit. And my dad smoked and the house smelled of smoke. So I'm like, and I probably smell like smoke and stuff too. So, and he was like, no, honey, like, you know how you said you like it when I smell like a man? He was like, I like it when you smell like a woman. He was like, I like it when you smell all pretty out of the shower and you put on all your lotions. He's like, that's not stupid at all to feel that way.
Aw, he's sweet. You got a good one.
Yeah, but he won't let me get another cat.
I hate when they say no. I'm like, you're saying no to me? You're saying no to me? Hello?
Yeah, I think I said most of the time he doesn't care. Like it's he doesn't argue with me. It's just okay, we're going to get another cat. But he knows like I'm just so filled with stuff to do. Like even this breezeway I'm sitting in right now, it's such a fucking shit mess. So bad. Like it's giving me anxiety. Like I'm just gonna drink the rest of this.
I might be crashing. Do you want to keep, if we keep going, I gotta get another drink.
I can go for a little bit longer, but I don't
Okay.
have much left in me. I have enough for you if you want to have another drink. I have that.
Okay, let me just go pour a little bit more.
Oh. Here comes the awkward part. I can't see the chat, but hi everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. My tequila is really good. I'm gonna pour some more.
we ever hang out and when we hang out in real life, we're gonna be such a bad influence on each other. What do you want out, buddy? Go on, go out, go. We're just gonna get crunkety crunk.
We are gonna be bad influences on each other.
First shot says he's not. I'm drinking tequila tonight too. A little bit.
Doesn't First Shot have kitties too?
Yeah, he has 2 pussies. Yeah.
My dog's chewing on the cat's bowl. And I tried to grab it, and she got really aggressive about it.
Oh.
I had to come back inside because there was like bugs in there.
Oh, sorry.
You know, I like it outside. I would go outside, but then I would have to spray myself with like off and
I should. Oh, go ahead. She's all making so much noise.
I tried the all natural stuff like bug sprays, but it doesn't work. I've tried so many different ones. Somebody put one on Twitter and I was like, oh my God, thank you. It was like a lotion. And I tried that and it did not work. I was still under attack.
We need that fucking DEET or whatever. Like,
yeah. We spray with off and like I spray around the chairs and stuff with off because it's so bad. Like you should see my arm right now. It's so fucking bit up and I was in the breezeway. Hi, Pumpkin. If you jump up, people can see you. Come here. Come here. Come here. She's like, I always get yelled at for it. I just show people.
nah, there she is.
Oh, she's such a little baby. I came across pictures of her when she was a baby. She was like a little chocolate nugget.
No, baby puppies are so cute. I've never had a puppy, but they're so cute.
Yeah, she was like a puppy when we got her. Like she was just the tiniest little nugget. Like I cried when we got her. And Adam came home with her. Like I knew he was coming home with her, but I went outside and she was like all in his arms, and I was like, oh my God. Oh. And now you're just a big wild girl. I want to make her a flower collar for the vow renewal.
Oh, that'd be pretty.
He's so cute. Huh, because you're just the cutest. My ditto Savannah.
The DEET, yeah, when DEET works, that's like when I'm up in Wisconsin, I'm like, I spray the fuck out of me. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's so bad up there.
It does, man. And like, ooh, I've gotten bit up really bad before. It's misery, and that shit can get infected, and I don't know what the fuck them bugs have. So
I'll get bit. They're like, and like, even if I'm wearing pants or whatever, they'll go after my ankles. So sometimes I'll like come back to Colorado, and for like a week, I'll have still mosquito bites all over my ankles and shit from there. Like, that's so bad.
Yeah, and we have like water not far from us here, so it attracts like more bugs. And there's like this standing water pond, like it's really not that far from us, so then that attracts more bugs. And the city owns it now, so they don't take care of that shit. So it's just all overgrown grass. But if we let our grass overgrow, we get
that's a zoning violation or whatever. We're gonna complain.
I love how they're allowed to let their grass grow.
It's so fucked up. I was just thinking the other day, like, from both sides for everything, when these people are like, do what I say, not what I do, it's just so fucked up. It just fucking pisses me the fuck off, you know? Like,
you're not my parents. Like, my parents could get away with that shit. Like,
and it makes sense when you're raising a kid. There's just things, you know.
I wish you could see her right now.
Is she still chewing on the bowl?
No, she's got this snake toy that I cannot believe she has not ripped open yet. I cannot believe this thing is not ripped open yet. And she's like, in her eyeballs, she looks so stupid goofy.
First I asked if they spray. I'm sure, but you can spray for mosquitoes and they'll still fucking show up. Like, you know.
Yeah, they don't spray for them in my city.
Like, fog it.
You gotta quit knocking the table. It's hard for me to.
We're having a hard time. We're having a hard time now.
I'm surprised she's not sleeping with Adam.
Does she
Right.
sleep in the bed?
No, we actually a lot of times at night.
It's true, Zurich.
Yeah. So at night we put her in a kennel. Kind of gives the cats time to have their free roam and stuff, and she's really good. Like, I mean, she knows when it's time for bed. And she doesn't. The first night we put her in there was because when she was a puppy, she finally figured out how to jump off our bed, and then she would just chew on everything that she found, and she peed, poop. So the first time we put her in the kennel, which was so sad, she like whimpered for a couple of minutes and then she went to sleep. And it has
Oh, that's good.
you. But yeah, I'll keep her out with me. Like tonight, I'll let her stay out since Adam's just sleeping in the living room. I'll let her stay out. And yeah, she'll just go and lay down, and she's so cuddly when she's like that. But I try her to sleep in my daughter's room, and she's like, no, that's not where I go. And it's like, but you always went in there. But then when we were like, it's okay, you can go sleep with Scarlett, she like would not go.
Like, funny how they have their preferences too. Like, even, no matter how much you teach them. Like, so my sister, they just got the dog, which is so funny because it's a rescue dog. He's a puppy. He's a little timid and stuff, but he's fine. Like, I met him. He's fine. He's just not a like in everybody's face kind of dog. He's just a little more timid. And they took him to the vet, and I've had this experience too. Which when you take dogs to the vet, they don't fucking like going to the vet. They don't like it. Like, for the most some dogs don't give a shit, right? They're happy-go-lucky. They don't care. But like there's all these smells there. There's all this shit going on. And I had a dog that I had to muzzle her when we went to the vet because she wasn't a mean dog, but at the vet she would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she would like kind of nip a little. And that was it. She never bit any other time. So they got this new dog, and my sister called me, and it's funny because my sister's a psychologist. She called me and she's like, the vet was a little like the vet was like shamed me. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's normal for dogs to be scared. Like, some dogs aren't, but it's very normal for dogs to be scared at the vet and be a little like, who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing? Especially if you're new, and like, so I told my sister, I'm like, yeah, you're fine. I used to have to fucking muzzle my old dog. So like, just, it is what it is. Like, I'm like, why would you shame? Like, why would you shame? But then we're like, my sister and me were talking. They're like, people who work with the animals or really good with the animals are usually not very good with people, right? They just don't know how to communicate very well. And I'm like, that's just what it was. It's fine. So Leo is fine. He just went on his first camp. They went on their first camping trip this weekend. I'm excited to hear. It's such a cute little guy. Love it.
We actually have never taken Selena to a vet yet. And I'm even more nervous because I've never, like, why do I not ashamed over my cats? And like, I'm totally experienced of like what to say to the vet to like make them happy or whatever. But we took our old cat Shooter. This was years ago. We had skunks in our yard, and they infested our yard with fleas. And the fleas were in our house, and we treated our cats for fleas, but they were still getting bit by them. And like, they were just everywhere, and we were like spraying, bombing, doing stuff we were doing everything. Well, it turns out our one cat Shooter was allergic to fleas. So like, one bite flea and he was going nuts. So we didn't have a regular vet at the time, so we found this vet by us because I'm like, Adam, like, obviously this treatment that we gave them is not working. Like, Shooter is not sleeping. He's just constantly itching. He has bumps everywhere. Like, I was like, and I looked it up. I was like, it seems like he's allergic. He needs to go to the vet. We need to get him a better flea treatment, and we need to see what we can do about it. I go in there. I specifically tell this lady that we had an infestation of fleas because of these skunks that were living in our yard. And like, we've got it sort of under control. I'm like, and I've given him flea treatment, but he's still itching like crazy, and fleas are still getting on him. and I don't want to like give him another flea treatment and make him sick. Like he's not reacting to it. So I want to take him to the vet and make sure. So she's like all like frantic, like weirdo lady. And she's like combing through him and she's like, oh yeah, he has fleas. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. I fucking know. So then the actual vet came in and he was so nice. And she's like telling him, oh yeah, he has fleas. He has fleas. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's in the like he's just looking at this vet tech like, oh my god. But he was really nice, but we never took our cats back there again. But yeah, it ended up that yeah, he was just allergic to the fleas. We had to give him a different flea treatment, and he gave him like a shot to help him get through the itching or whatever. And yeah, it was like
Allergy.
yeah, it was so nice. Like that cat, man, he would get so pissed about going to the vet, but man, did he sleep good that night. That's why I never wanted to take him to the vet.
I
And I'm
know.
to the vet and he fucking died.
I'm not a big fan of I'm a big fan of old school country vets who are like normal, but like all the new vets and stuff, like they're expensive. Even like my sister, she was like, yeah, they asked us to give the dog a flu shot. And I'm like, the dog doesn't need they did it. And I'm like, she's like, but we won't do it again. I'm like, yeah, you don't need to do that again. Like the dog doesn't need a fucking flu shot for fuck's sake. Like, you know?
Like that's what we had. We had like an old school vet in town. And it's funny, he hasn't been a vet for 15 years and I still see people post on our community page. Does anybody know a good vet? I haven't had a regular vet since Doc Riley retired. And I'm like, right? Like, because we would go in there and there was no like
it was an upsell. It wasn't about the upsell.
Right. It was very, very basic stuff. And like they were really like even the ladies in the office were so nice. Like my cat brought home 2 kittens one time. He was a boy cat, just brought home 2 kittens. And I called the office. I'm like, what do I don't know what to do. So like they told me what to do. And the one lady was so nice. She's like, listen, I'm just gonna tell you, when you bottle feed kittens, she's like, do you like cats? And I was like, yeah, like, you know, love cats. She's like, yeah, you're probably not going to want to get rid of them. And she was, I did not get rid of that cat. I kept that. Well, the one passed away because he was too sick. But the female cat, she lived. And I was like, I'm not giving her up. I've been waking up with her every night, like every hour to feed her. And you have to,
baby.
yeah. Like, and then I had a friend come over to watch her while I was working. And she's like, oh, let me come over and take care of the kitten for you. So I'm like, okay. So I show her, I'm like, you know, you just like take a little cloth and you just rub her there and she'll go potty. I'm like, just, you know, I showed her how I did it and everything. And she's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, it's like, that's what their mommy does for them, you know, like it helps them to go to the bathroom after they eat. I get home and she refused to do it. So their little belly, like, you know, like their little belly was all tight and stuff. And then that bitch wanted to work for a vet's office. And I'm like, you can't work for a vet's office. Like, what are you going to do if people come in and like, you have to take care of that kind of stuff. Like, you have to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, she was such a cute kitty. She was a little fuzz bucket. What do you got now?
I went to vet tech school for a little bit. A little fire truck. I went to vet tech school for a little bit. I had originally wanted to be a vet, and then I'm like, well, there's no way I'm going to fucking 8 years of school plus. Like they have to go to like 11 years now. And then they have all this school loans, and that's why they're fucking expensive. But anyways, and then I went to vet tech school for a semester. But then I'm like, the animals don't like you when you're the nurse, like when you're there at the vet. They're not in a happy situation typically. And I was like, I don't like this. I'm like, so I dropped out. I didn't end up doing it. I was making more money. I was working at the time while I was going to school as a bookkeeper, and I was making more as a bookkeeper than I would make at the end of the whole vet tech thing. So I was like, fuck it. That's fine. It was fine.
Yeah, I hardly Dad. I hardly ever take my cats to the vet. Unless
Yeah. Oh
they're-
yeah. There was like a free spay and neuter clinic. So I took her to that and they did like 1 year rabies, but I'm like, I'm not taking her back. Like they just like, they push so many vaccines. And so like, okay, it used to be when I was even in vet tech school, they're like, oh, you have an appointment. They come in and you do all these things. Well, then I started going with my pets and they're like charging for everything. And I'm like one time I was like, yeah, he does. Some dogs do that reverse sneeze thing. This is my old dog where they're, and they're fine, but I didn't know at the time. And then she like went like this, and she was like, oh, he's fine. And then it was like a $30 charge for going like this on his throat when I'm already paying for the visit. I'm already paying for the office, like, and I have a friend who has one here. And like we party together with him and stuff. And I told my other friend, I'm like, he's expensive. And I guess she told him. And then they're all mad at me. But I'm like, they kind of are. And then they're like, they kind of fucking are. Like the old school vets, we had a vet who she worked out of a fucking RV and was cheap as hell, knew exactly what to do, wasn't like, you need to take, wasn't upcharging. And we need more of those vets.
Yeah, my vet had like a little office. Like when you walked in, like the little waiting room was like so tiny. And then yeah, there was just the one like well check office, and then in the back is where he would do like the surgeries and stuff. But even when I would get my cats like fixed and stuff through them, like now when you go through the rescue, they're already fixed and have all that shit. But he still wasn't that expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
It was like 30 or $40 back in the day.
Dumb as shit, dude. Like, you know when you go to like an Urgicare now, it's like they charge you like $200 to sit there for like ever waiting for somebody to come in and be like, take your temperature, look at your throat, look at your, oh, you have a sinus infection, oh, you have bronchitis. It's like, I could have told you that. Like, I know when I have a sinus infection. I know when I have bronchitis. Like, you know what it feels like. And people are like, well, we can't just, have antibiotics over the counter. Like, what if people just start taking antibiotics for no reason? It's like, yeah, like, that would be wild. Like, what if we put a drink out that made people, like, really fucked up and, like, got rid of their inhibitions? Well, that.
We can't have that over the counter. And that's so funny. Especially antibiotics. Like especially what was funny about COVID is we all like were told too much antibiotics will cause like super bugs and all this stuff, right? But like, and then they're like, with all the COVID shit, it's so stupid. Everything is so stupid. And like I hate with the whole abortion thing going on, they're like, oh, like I technically hate hormonal birth control, but yeah, it should be easier to get. And if people like if you take there are plenty of like cold pain medicines you can take that'll make you sick, and you'll be like, I need to get stopped. So it'll be the same with the birth control, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm starting to think like I only took the pill once for a little bit, and I was like, this shit's making me crazy. Like I don't normally think this way. So, and I talked to another woman, she had been on them, like she was off of them, but she had been on them before, and she's like, yeah, that shit made me crazy. I stopped taking it. And I'm like, okay, so it's not just me. So then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I know a lot of girls who ended up on birth control young
Early, yeah.
have like a lot of issues. And I'm like, I can't help but wonder if that has something to do with it. And then, like, I know a lot of women who are on birth control who end up on other pills.
He has 2 golden retrievers, $350 per dog. Damn.
Exactly.
No, but for real, like I'm thankful. For whatever grace of God, I'm just thankful I never got on the pill. I never was on I was on the NuvaRing for like 6 months, and that was it. I'm like, maybe that's why we are how we are because we weren't on the pill. But then I'm also like, and maybe I might get demonetized. Well, I'm not monetized. I might get kicked off for this. But like all these people going on birth control so early, which they didn't need to. And that, like, even not even from like a they're not having sex standpoint, just like a you don't need to medically intervene all the time, you know. And then I don't know. That's why there's so much AUTISM. You know, like maybe that's why there's so much of that. I don't know. With the rise in birth control, and I don't know.
I got the IUD, but I'm gonna take it out. I don't want it, and I don't want to. But I'm kind of scared though because I have been normal with it because I did have a lot of issues, you know, and it's been like the only thing that kind of like. But I don't want it anymore. For trying to think of the right word, cosmetic reasons. I don't know how to put it.
Because does he hit it when he fucks you? Is that what you're gonna say?
So a lot of times with the IUD, they'll make the string long so that you can pull it out yourself if you want to. So yeah, like there's a string there. I mean, it's just weird. So
like it's cool that it works. It's cool that it works, but
yeah, I mean, but yeah, well, that's part of the reason that my doctor suggested when I said that I wanted to do birth control, was because it was something we could easily remove if we needed to.
And you had already had kids, so it's a little easier to put in too, isn't it? If you've already had kids.
Well, and you know what else is weird? So I've heard a lot of women say that they experienced a lot of pain when they were getting theirs put in. And I was like, I didn't. You know, yeah, like there's been like some horror stories about that, and I'm like, damn. But the doctor that I had is like he was almost hard to get an appointment with because everybody wanted him because he was really good at it. I mean, he just listens, you know, and takes you seriously, you know, and like I mean, he's an OB, so he should realize how crazy this and all this gets when it comes to women. He just like he really listened, you know. And I mean, like I think a lot of doctors are like, "Oh no, it's not the pill making you crazy. You're just fucking crazy. Here's an antidepressant," you know. But yeah, like he listened to me and he believed me, and you know, I was like, he was the one that was like, I don't want to do the shot with you because if I give you the shot, that's just in you. He was like, so if something does happen that causes you an extreme imbalance that is affecting your mind or your health or whatever, he was like, you can't just go and take that out of you.
You have to wait. Yeah, you have to wait till it's dissipated or whatever.
And it's like 6 to 8 months for that.
And a lot of those the Depo shot, those girls get like really fat, like really, really fat a lot of times with that shot.
They would have been like, no.
I remember I went to this one. I've had many good gynecologist, but I remember this one and like her assistant came in and she was big and she was like said something like, yeah, she's doing the Depo shot. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna do that. No, thank you. I did it. I almost did I wanted to do for a little bit because I could pay cash for it, ablation, where they like burn your uterine lining basically and just make it so there's no, it never builds up blood and stuff. But it like, so you kind of stop having most periods, but then there's other complications with everything. There's other complications. You start getting fibroids and stuff, but like, and then I started feeling bad too because they're like, well, you can still conceive, but it just kind of like doesn't happen. You know, it bounces out. And I was like, well, I'm like, that's guys. And because I haven't had a kid, it was going to cost me like $5,000 more because it's just easier once your cervix has done that for a kid. It's just easier to get in there, right? Compared to like, so I guess you can get ablation in like, if you've already had a kid, you can get an ablation just in like the gynecologist's office. But like, if you have it, you have to go to an actual surgery center. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to let it ride the fuck out. I don't care. Like, and it was weird because when I was 16, I bled a lot. And I went to the emergency room one time because you have to worry about that. You can die from,
Yeah.
you know. We were worried. I was like, something's going on. And they're like, oh yeah, they did an ultrasound and they're like, she has cysts and stuff. Because you always have a cyst when you release an egg, apparently. But like they're like something, but I don't have the polycyst thing or anything. But I don't know. I'm like, it's all been fine. I've been fine. I've been healthy. It's all good. Whatever. Like, I don't need to mess with it. It's fine. It's fine.
Like, I am not, like, are you going to bed?
Yeah, and you want me to teach you how to use Discord tomorrow?
You can teach me. Scarlett's like, do you want me to teach you how to use Discord?
I'm a nerd.
Yeah. You too,
Night,
honey.
Scar.
Night, where's mommy? I don't care. I wanted to say that.
I love it. Love it.
She's got on his, so she got this like plaid skirt a while ago. Like, not that kind of plaid skirt. It's like
Not a short school girl pie shirt.
like yellow and black and stuff, and it's just so cute. She looks so cute in it. And her hair, oh my god. I did not think I would love her hair the way that I do, but when we cut it short, but I'm like, oh my god, your hair is so beautiful. And every day because now I'm like brushing it all the time again, and like today I'm like brushing her hair, I'm like, oh my god, people are just gonna die when they see you at the vow renewal, because people haven't seen her in 3 years. Because
She's probably grown up a lot.
she grew up, she got her hair cut. Like, even at her last birthday party, my cousin was just like, I can't believe that's your little baby. And I'm like, but yeah, she's gonna look so pretty. We're gonna like, you've seen how her hair is since they cut it. So like, she's gonna like, we're gonna put like a clip with like a flower right here with it and stuff, and do some soft curls. I'm like, oh my god, my baby, you're so beautiful. Like, it's so crazy. But yeah, she's just so beautiful. I can't believe it. Like, I always knew she was gonna be beautiful, you know? Like, I mean, people say, well, you say that about your kids, but no, like, my baby's beautiful.
You did good.
Not how beautiful you are.
I'm a rose.
You aren't.
Are they both up still?
Did you hear him? He was like, oh, mommy, I hit my toe. And Scarlett's like, come on. She's gonna fix him up. She can be very nurturing at times. She definitely has her. Probably you'd be a good mommy one day. One day, like,
When she's ready.
yeah, like sometimes Adam will be like saying like, oh, you can have kids when you're 35, and I'm like, hold up, I need grandkids before that. Like, that's what I'm in this for.
You want to still be like active and have fun and stuff. So
I mean, I had my kids kind of later. Scar, I was 30, almost 31 with her, but Grayson, yeah, I was later. I was like 35 with him. And my dad even said, he was like, why do all my kids wait so long to have kids? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I should have went to the first guy that was like a freaking drug addict and stole all my money, because then I would have had kids sooner. Like, sorry I waited for like a decent guy. Sorry, Dad. But my dad, it's like, I mean, granted, my dad like still didn't live, but I mean, my mom was active until the day she died. Like, the day she died, she was weeding, and she was supposed to go to work the next day.
and then she had a heart attack, right?
Yeah, and you want to hear something funny? So my mom had to take off a lot of work, and she used like all of her sick days, all of her vacation days because of my dad. So she would have to take him to the doctor all the time, right? So somebody got her a magnet at work that said, I've used up all my sick days and all I have left is to call in dead. And when she got it, like, Adam's like, man, that's the funniest magnet ever. And then she died, and my brother had to call her in dead. Like my brother.
Oh God.
My family, like, I mean, it was so traumatizing when my mom died, but we still laugh about stuff. And yeah, that was one of the things we laughed about because my brother had to call my mom and dad.
First of all, what are you? No, that's a blade. I need cream for wounds because he's like, when
There's cream in there.
oh,
I don't know what's wrong with him. He doesn't need cream. Where are you? Neosporin? Hydrocortisone? Aquaphor?
no.
Come here.
You know how like when you shed door and like you sometimes get your toe and cut it open? He did that.
Yeah, that's Neosporin.
Okay.
Or hydrocortisone works too. When you have kids, you will end up. Well, I don't know.
I'm not having fucking kids.
You end up with like all stupid random medicines, dude. Like, Aquaphor, hydrocortisone, Vaseline, Neosporin, like everything.
No, it's good to have that on hand. That's healthcare,
And hey, Neosporin that stuff is the bomb. It really is. Like, woo. No, don't put Desitin on it.
But Desitin's for like fungus, isn't it?
Rashes,
Oh my God. What is Desitin? I feel like Desitin is like
That's for your butt rashes.
yeah.
Hey, you know what? Guys in the chat, if you ever like get rashes by the booty and stuff, whether it's from diarrhea or from being out in the heat, Desitin works for that. And nobody's gonna know what you're buying it for. They're gonna think you're buying it for your kid at home, but yeah, it works. Or butt paste. There's like literally stuff called butt paste.
You need stuff sometimes. Like you need that shit sometimes. This is what it is.
Yeah, you end up with everything. But yeah, like Grayson, he thinks he doesn't even have to be bleeding. And he'll be like, I need a band-aid. But like he'll do the craziest stuff. Like he will go running across the room, fall, go flying into the wall, and he'll pop back up and he's like, I'm okay. And like he'll like tap something and he'll be like, I need a band-aid. Like, oh my God. Off of here, I swear to God, I'm gonna go in the bedroom and just lock my door with my lemonade.
Do you want to end? Are you good still?
I'll finish this and then we can end because yeah, I'm gonna go lay down and what the hell I'm gonna like. It's so bad at night because I'll get like the giggles really bad, and Adam and I will be in bed and I'll be watching something and I'm like laughing so hard, or I'll go on Twitter and somebody will say something and I try not to laugh, but then I end up being like
I get it. I laugh a lot too. Like I'm just like, why? I'm such a dork. I'll be looking at my phone. I'm like, like what's wrong with me? What's fucking wrong with me? Everything.
that was me today when I saw that post on Facebook and like, my immediate was like, oh, and then it's like, ah!
I love it.
And then I was like, man, should I send this to Forest Mommy or is that like an invasion of their privacy?
It's all good. I'm not on Facebook anyway, so
Scratch out their names, it's fine. I mean, whatever.
And I get it. Like I get it.
I mean, that was funny. Like I couldn't believe she said it. She's like, oh, like when you came in me. And I'm pretty sure like that woman is like married with kids and stuff now and settled down. And then I found out his other ex-girlfriend just got married too. And I'm like, dude, like you're not getting it. Like when at you, like you're not the dude. Like they are not looking at you to settle down with. Like these women are getting sick of you. And it's funny because yeah, he said the one time he's like, I think we should go back to women not being able to vote. And I'm like, no, because you guys do a really bad job of it too. Like you guys aren't really good at it either, you know? And then like he said something about, you know, well, men tend to own property and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, the past two women you have been with own homes and you lived with them. You have literally had a place of your own. Ever. He has never lived on his own. He has always lived with roommates and he had to live on his own. It's like, dude, so like and yeah, like this new chick he's with, like, yeah, she like bought a home and stuff and I'm just like, are we that desperate for a dude? Like
Well, especially one who acts like he's all like he's Mr. Like
Yeah.
she's like, you came in. He's like, well, just because you let people come in you, like it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like you're the loser coming in her. Hello.
you're like you have to be responsible too. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of guys that will tell you, like, yeah, like I don't care if she tells me she's on birth control. I don't care what she tells me, like I'm still gonna wrap it up, I'm still gonna pull out, I'm still gonna do this because I don't want kids right now, you know? And like some women get offended by it, and it's like that's a good thing that he's saying he's not ready for kids. And he's not even saying he's not ready for kids with you. He's just saying he's not ready for kids yet. Like Adam and I were together for 3 years before we had a kid. Weren't married that long before we had a kid or got pregnant. But yeah, I mean, we didn't want to have kids yet. I never took it as like, I don't want babies with this broad. It was just, you know, we weren't ready yet. Here, come give me a kissy. Love you.
My baby is better.
Your Band-Aid is better.
It's
Okay.
Toy Story.
It's Toy Story. Oh, thank you. That shit's gay.
You're the best mom ever. I love it.
I am during the afternoons. And
Like after the hangover kind of fades, and I'm like ready to go, and then I'm good, and before I get fucked up again.
well, it like goes back to what I told you. Like my friend coming over the one day, she's like, God, it's just like so weird to see you at home, like all like little
Mommy.
sisters. Yeah, and some people, there's a lot of people that still don't even know this side of me. They're just like, Alice is just crazy Alice all the time. And it's like, no, I just don't hang out with you that much. Love you, baby. Yeah.
Actually, this time. I'm not coming downstairs until like 2 a.m. Then you wake up.
Oh, okay. Love you. Yeah, like, but yeah, there's a lot of people that like I think are like, Alice is a stay-at-home mom. It's like, yeah, like I drank with you at softball games. That's not like my whole life. Oh, you're frozen.